Well, Kawhi Leonard was a factor as always. He had 36 points, played 52 minutes, but I'm going to be honest, he didn't have a great game, especially with the level that he has set for himself in these playoffs. He was 11 for 25 from the field, and early in the game was a little funky, just kind of not hitting his shots. And then there's this play here where it seems like he lands funny, he's hobbled. Do you think it was the Bucks defense or Kawhi Leonard being hobbled? What do you think led to him kind of getting a slow start in this game and coming on late?
He seemed to be a little hobbled. He seemed to be favoring whether his hand or something with one of his lower extremities. But either way, he still found a way to be productive. And as long as your best player continues to attack, it makes it easier for everybody around him. Now all of a sudden, Marc Gasol making a couple of shots is huge. Pascal slashing is huge. But Norman Powell was the key. He played terrific in the backcourt, picking up for Van Vliet, Lowry, and Danny Green, who were all struggling.
So, Jalen, he said, I'm good. This is just playoff basketball. I've got to keep fighting. He downplayed the injury. Jalen, everyone says this, and I didn't play in the NBA. Everyone's hurt in the playoffs. How true is that sort of cliche?
It's very true because you just take into account the marathon of the season. And bumps and bruises going to happen. Aches and pains are going to happen. And you learn that there's a difference between being hurt when you still have on the uniform and go out and play and nobody cares, and or being injured like Kevin Durant when you cannot play. So for Kawhi, he understood that them going down 0-3 means that they probably would get swept and or mean that they definitely would not have a chance to come back and win this series. So for him to go out there and perform the way he did, it was really a positive thing for the Raptors. Let's see if they can continue to maintain that level of effort that they showed in Game 3.
Well, one of the things that effort got them was they really stifled Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis has had some great games in these playoffs. This was not one of them. He was 5 for 16 from the field. He did add 23 rebounds and some good defense, but they really seemed to sort of bottle him up. What did they do against him in Game 3 that they can also do in Game 4?
You must shrink the floor and play what's called boxes and elbows. That means there has to be feet defensively on those positions, forcing him to be a passer. And then you try to do the late contest for shooters like Brook Lopez and Mirotic and Ilyasova. However, there's a problem that the Toronto Raptors must get under wraps if they're going to find a way to win this series. Malcolm Brogdon and George Hill both scored at least 20 coming off the bench. That is not a recipe for a team like the Raptors to win this series. You still must find a way, while you did a great job of controlling the Greek Freak, to not allow the guys to come in off the bench and have the level of productivity that they had.
George Hill has been phenomenal the last few games. I'm glad you brought up Brogdon as well because he has been on fire, and it seems like it took him no adjustment to come back from this injury, and he played pretty good defense whenever he was matched up with Kawhi Leonard, something that's very difficult to do. Big shout to Brogdon and George Hill, two people that stepped up when Giannis and some of the other stars weren't playing great. Giannis didn't only have some trouble on offense, he had a little foul trouble as well. And there was that block and charge call earlier that we showed you that went against him that actually had him foul out. And when he was walking to the sideline, Toronto's second mascot, Drake, in his big purple jacket, he waved off Giannis Antetokounmpo. Just waved goodbye to him as he walked off to the sidelines. Giannis did not acknowledge him. But do you think that he will regret this sort of display publicly against Giannis Antetokounmpo?
No, you don't regret it because they won the game. The next game breeds a new life, a new opportunity. And the thing is, it was a questionable call. It was a block charge. It was a bang-bang play. I actually felt like it was a charge on Siakam. Sometimes at the home floor, you get the benefit of the whistle. That happened in this case. Giannis fouled out of the game, and that became the real catalyst to why the Toronto Raptors were able to hold on and win the game.